Hey guys, Turdgorilla on the most targeted assassin. Boy, oh my gosh, I know I shouldn't even play into this. The Turdgorilla. Go to his channel, you go back in time, he re-uploaded hours of video games from the 90s. He re-uploaded hours of video games from the 90s. Hold on, let me just go to his channel. Let me show you. He loves to, first thing he say, and listen, I'm not one to call out psychiatric terms because it doesn't really get you anywhere, but he is the quintessential narcissist. He is the definition of narcissist. Everything he says is true. It doesn't matter. He's going to show you every reason why he's right, and there's no way he could possibly be wrong. He's going to interject a couple of those terms that says, I'm open-minded, and I'm not going to judge this. But everything he does is how to target people, how to make it seem like he's right, like me. Holy shit, TIs are dumb, the most targeted citizen. How critically think, how get critical think. How get critical think. He's smart, remember that. So all this is him attacking people. Now, he goes and attacks Dr. John Hall, who is it's not a guess that he is a doctor type person. I'll let you play through. Listen to his ignorance. This is him. He's debunking someone here. Listen to him debunking Dr. John Hall.
He's claims already, and he's not backing up. He's just talking.
Let me say this. Dr. John Hall got the evidence up, went to court to help a lady who was being sexually assaulted with these weapons, with this technology, who was a targeted individual. It's in a court of law. They're actually court documents where Dr. John Hall and licensed and bonded private investigators went and testified as well to the victimization of a targeted individual. It isn't just, and listen to this jackass. Well, what we have to determine is, look, he's got files and folders behind him, and he's wearing a doctor's uniform, so he's trying to convince us that he is a doctor. I don't know if he's a doctor or not, because, everybody has a bunch of doctors' files and folders behind them. Look, in the first 3 seconds, he talks about a book. He's trying to sell us a book. Well, he doesn't say you can get my book on Amazon in 1995. He just says, this is why I wrote this book. This is how ignorant these people are. This is a narcissist pig for you right here. Listen. Dr. John Hall is a pioneer in what's happening to us. He has exposed more than most, besides Dr. Robert Duncan. I guess Turdgorilla, that's his name, Turdgorilla, because he's full of shit. Turdgorilla would attack Dr. Robert Duncan too, I guess. CIA, MIT, Harvard. He's got more three-letter words behind three-letter acronyms behind his name than Turdgorilla's got on all the porn websites he's watched. I mean, this is a sick individual who thinks that look, I can work a computer, so I am greater than all. I bet Lawnmower Man was his favorite movie as a child. Listen to him as he tries to destroy Dr. John Hall.
Another #1. Wow, great information and awareness. Great work, great video.
See, mocking, sarcasm, harassment.
Sure. This discovery. Give us more. And my first thought is, holy shit, dude, these people are dumb suckers.
We're dumb suckers because a licensed anesthesiologist. So he's credible enough to be an anesthesiologist and put drugs into people and put them to sleep. He's credible enough for that. But anything he says out of work is false. Because remember, this idiot right here, Turdgorilla, he isn't going to let you think that Dr. John Hall is real. Dr. John Hall, he's going to read out the definition of con artist.
I think they're incapable of learning.
I'm incapable of learning.
I've taught them so much about shit like this.
He's taught us so much.
They see a video like
you
this,
hear it?
they're blown away.
He's taught us so much.
Let's see what this fucker says. Actually, I downloaded the video, so it's a little bit louder. Let's hear it.
Wow, what a great guy you are, Turdgorilla.
I'm Dr. John Hall.
Now listen. Turdgorilla could very easily, right now, he could Google Dr. John Hall. he could look up and show it with all his great abilities on the computer. He could show us John Hall. He could Google him. He could show he could go and see what colleges he graduated from. He could show Dr. John Hall what he's known for. He could go and find out the books that he's written. He could find all the information. He could actually find the court cases if he wanted to. He could prove that John Hall is exactly who he is. But he's not going to do that. But narcissists aren't going to show the proof of why they're a liar. They're not going to show what makes them a liar. No, we can't do that. We're just going to take it one video because he's got all the ability in the world to do research. But if you'll notice, he never does any research. He takes one video and he picks it or attempts to pick it apart while making himself the god, the bearer of all critical thinking skills.
I'm just gonna make a couple notes.
Now watch this. Watch what he does.
I'm gonna see if I can critically analyze.
Critically analyze. His idea of critically analyzing is he's going to put in negative terms so he can already put your mindset into that Dr. John Hall is a huckster or a charlatan. That's what he's doing. His critical thinking is the first thing I'm going to do before hearing anything about Dr. John Hall. I'm not going to look up his record. I'm not going to look up his history. I'm not going to look up his biography. I'm not going to go to LinkedIn and see his LinkedIn profile. I'm not going to do that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to post negative connotations up so I can turn the conversation the way I want you to think. You see? He's already proved himself to be, how do you say it? This is fruit of the poisonous tree. So in other words, he says, first off, I'm not calling him a huckster or a charlatan, and I don't think he's a doctor even though he's got files behind him, but I'm going to read out these definitions to let you know, because on this video, John Hall isn't selling you his book. He isn't trying to sell you his movie. He's trying to tell you about a woman that he helped, another targeted individual. And listen, he gets calls every day. He doesn't get paid to do this. But as Turdgorilla sets the narrative.
I haven't looked this guy up. I don't know anything about him.
You're right, you don't. You know nothing about Dr. John Hall.
He says, Doctor... Actually, you know what? I'm going to start here.
See, look. He started to type. And then he thought, oh, whoa, I can't look up Dr. John Hall because then I realized that he's actually a doctor. I'll actually realize that he's real. I can't do that. Instead, we're going to put up what I want the audience to assume Dr. John Hall is.
For you guys.
See?
This is critical thinking. So what's
no, it's not. It's not critical thinking. It is called making a biased narrative for your audience. It is not critical thinking. It's making a biased narrative to your audience. I wonder how you do that.
The word huckster. Promote or sell something, typically a product of questionable value.
John's not selling anything in here.
A person falsely claiming to have special knowledge or skill.
It's not special knowledge or skill. Everything that John Hall's going to tell us is debriefed. It's in declassified documents from the CIA. It's actually witness testimony. The government comes out. Actually, people that work for the government, just like Dr. William Binney, who is now a targeted individual, who has a lot more skills on a computer than this guy. You know, Dr. Bill Binney, CIA, what is it, chief CIA analyst, like the number 2 at the CIA analyzing internet traffic? Yeah. This Turdgorilla wouldn't put anything up about Dr. Bill Binney, would he? But let's continue. The special knowledge or skill. A fraud, a self-confessed con artist. Let's go with Turdgorilla's definition of John Hall.
Fraud. Okay? Critical thinking. The objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. Do you understand what objective means? You guys...
Yeah, an objective is you don't... See, this is the most unobjective, non-objective thing that you can do. The first thing I'm going to do, instead of let you have an honest opinion and let you decide for yourself what this man's talking about, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to frame it as if he's a snake oil salesman. I'm going to put it in your mind that he's a con man because he's trying to tell you what he's done, what he's got proof that he's done, and who he is, and he's got proof of he is. But I'm going to frame the narrative the way I want to because I am the Turdgorilla.
They're not objective at all. You guys all fall for information that sides with you, and then you reject information that disagrees with you.
Did he not just do the same thing? He's doing the same thing! He's not going to his profile. He's not going to his LinkedIn. He's not looking at his history. He's not Googling John Hall to find out who he is. He's doing none of that. The first thing he does is slander him. You see what I mean? That's the hypocrisy in all these people that try to debunk something they don't know. Oh, well, look, I'm so smart. I'm going to say a bunch of words really fast. I'm going to put it up on a computer so you can read those bunch of words really fast. And that makes me the arbiter of all the knowledge here. I am the great all-knowing one, the Turdgorilla.
I am an objective person.
Is he?
I look for the truth.
Is he?
Okay? Even if it doesn't make me happy,
Is
I
he?
look for the truth.
Is he?
You guys don't do that.
Has he looked for any truth yet? Does he know that John Hall's a real doctor? Did he look to see if he is?
I had to wake up. I got out of bed
Listen,
because it pissed me off.
in his own bed, his single bed,
Dr. John Hall,
where he lives all by himself.
Medical doctor in San Antonio, Texas, author of A New Breed, Satellite Terrorism.
All right, so
Can he spell San Antonio? Look, San Antonio.
A New Breed, Satellite Terrorism in America. So that right there, guys, should be your first fucking clue.
Oh my God, he wrote a book. I don't know. When somebody writes a book, doesn't that go to their credibility that they put the time and the effort and the research? Because you should read the book. It's very informative. And it's weird that it actually has references where you can actually go look up the government programs, go look up the technology, look up the patents. Oh yeah, it's in the book, A New Breed. But Turdgorilla, he's just going to tell you that, oh, he's trying to sell a book. Yep, that's what he's trying to do. What's Turdgorilla selling? Oh, he's selling subscriptions. Huh. What do you mean subscriptions? Is he monetized? No. What Turdgorilla is selling is the boost to his ego. You see, when you have little dick syndrome like Turdgorilla has, you have to go out of your way to try to appear smarter, better, more knowledgeable than anyone else. Because us dumb, targeted individuals, we don't objectively think like he does.
San Antonio, I don't know.
Oh, he spelled it right finally?
It's about my experience with a female.
All right, so one more thing to note here is the setting that he's in.
See,
background.
this is how simple his mind is. Background with folders.
Doctor or medical.
Did he just guess on that, or is this guy's name Dr. John Hall? So far what he's trying to tell you is Dr. John Hall's a con artist. To push his con, he wrote a book. He spent, because it takes a lot of money to write a book. If you didn't know that, it takes a lot of money. You got to get publishing and all that stuff. I mean, most of the time, publishers just aren't coming out of the woodwork to pay you. Most of the time, you have to put it out there yourself and go out, work to push it, and then pay for all the editing, get your book done before anybody even pick it up. So, Turdgorilla wants you to believe that Dr. John Hall, we don't know if he's a doctor, even though he actually is, that he went and bought an outfit to fake being a doctor. He went out and got a bunch of discarded files out of the trash to make himself look like a doctor and put it behind him, all to convince you to buy his book for $9.99. Dr. John Hall's going to go spend all this money to get you to buy a book. That's what Turdgorilla right now wants you to think. Is this critical thinking? This is what goes for critical thinking in America.
Garments.
Medical garment.
All right, so he's sitting there in front of this. Of course, look at the setting. It's there to, especially if there's an agenda, especially if there's a charlatan. They do.
You see, when you have an evil mind, when you have a corrupt soul, all you do is think the worst in everything. All you do is try to find the evil in everything. Because I've noticed that about evil people who they have no moral compass at all. So what they're doing is they're reflecting what's in them. They are so corrupted inside, they expect the whole world to be just like them. The Bible has a couple verses about that. You see, it's the evil in them that projects, there's the word, that projects evil in everyone else. See, they can't be, you could tell them the sun is hot, and Turdgorilla would get on Jeff Bezos's dildo and ride it out there and touch it for himself. Because he would debunk that. He would debunk that the sun's hot. He's projecting.
Like this to try to seem more credible than they really are. I'm not saying this guy's not credible, but
but
now,
he is.
I've already got red flags.
He's got red flags. He's got red flags because Dr. John Hall is sitting in his office. He's sitting at work in his office making a video about targeted individuals. But that's red flags to this jackass Turdgorilla. Pardon me as I'm passionate about stupidity. As he starts off with huckster, charlatan, and critical thinking. He's being objective, remember that. He's being objective by huckster, charlatan, and critical thinking.
Based on what I already heard the guy say and the setting here.
Target in San Antonio, Texas, that was the victim of what we think is a satellite-based tracking and harassment system based on directed energy weaponry and electromagnetic weaponry used by the government. My impetus for writing the book was to expose the fact that this technology is being used nationwide and globally in an apparent experimental fashion to harass certain people.
Now, you guys have to keep in mind
Listen to this guy. Listen to this jackass now.
He's giving the assumption here, like by the background and his clothing, that he's in the medical profession. I don't have any proof that he's really in the medical.
Has he looked him up? No. Listen to him. I don't have any proof he's in the medical profession. Really? But he won't look him up. Why? If you're trying to debunk somebody, why don't you look him up? Look up and see if he's Dr. John Hall. Look and see what college he went to. But Turdgorilla's not going to do that, is he? He is not going to do anything that casts shade on his presumptions. And by the way, everything John Hall's talking about, there are patents for all this technology. There's eyewitness testimony. There are whistleblowers from the CIA, the NSA, and the FBI. This is not new. This is old. But Turdgorilla, nope. Not gonna think that way. Quacks like a duck, looks like a duck. It's got to be a duck, right? Not to Turdgorilla. Ducks are dinosaurs. Ducks is actually an alligator in a costume to Turdgorilla. I mean,
Profession? Maybe he is.
Maybe he is, you think?
It doesn't mean that he's automatically right. That's number one. So this is how you have to think critically about shit like this.
But he's not thinking critically.
Secondly, he's making these claims already, and he's not backing up. He's just talking.
What is Turdgorilla doing? Is he backing up his claims? No, he's just talking. Except he's not just talking. He's committing crimes. You see, when you say definitively, because he's going to in the next hour and 44 minutes, he's going to say definitively that Dr. John T. Hall is a huckster. He's going to say definitively that he's a charlatan. He's going to say definitively that he is critically thinking that Dr. John Hall is not a doctor. He's going to say that definitively. That's slander and libelous. Right?
Thirdly, of course, he has the book to sell.
People. This started about 2006, was ongoing with the people.
I know you hate it when I interrupt. If I'm going to sell a book, if all a man wants to do is write a book, why would you write a book about a topic that so many people don't believe? People like this Turdgorilla. Why would you write a book that isn't necessarily popular? Why would you write a book accusing the U.S. government about something that will literally put you past being on a government watch list? Why would you write a book risking your life and your safety that is probably not going to be a good seller? I mean, if you're going to swing for the fences, why wouldn't you write a Harlequin novel? Write something for the Lonely Housewives. Wouldn't you write some kind of book about a military soldier, a hero? Why wouldn't you do history? Anything in the world. If he's wanting to sell a book, why wouldn't he be selling a book that's going to make him money? That's going to make him rich and famous? You want me to tell you why? Because people that have a moral compass, honest people that truly want to help, it isn't about the money, it's about the information. It's about spreading the awareness to what's happening, just as he said he wanted to do, and he has done. He's writing a book to save lives. But Turdgorilla, all he sees is the monetary. He's writing a book to make money, but Turdgorilla can't he's falling over his own self. I mean, just like in the video earlier, he proved my point that, no, you can't get around Jupiter. He's proved my point here, that he's not a critical thinker. That he has an agenda, and he's trying to silence anyone. Now, the question is he being paid to targeted individuals? I don't think he's intelligent enough for that. I think that he's been so long on a computer that he doesn't really understand what's going on in the real world. This ends shortly. I ain't got time to spend wasting on him.
Victim that I wrote about until her name was changed and she was moved out of the city where she was being targeted. The perpetrators of the targeting were a private investigative group owned and operated by a former FBI.
Okay, he said private investigative group.
Agent, and operated by a former FBI agent who hired nothing but his relatives to work for him. We spent a lot of time doing counter surveillance on this group to make sure that we had the correct identities.
Okay, so you have to understand that.
Listen to him.
Private investigators are not illegal. I'm sure you guys probably
Listen to him.
that, right?
Now he's gonna justify.
Well, then he said it's operated by a former FBI agent who hires, whatever he said. So how do they know this?
Because he looked up their credentials. Private investigators have to be bonded in the state you're in. With the bonding and the license of private investigators, listen, they have to disclose what their credentials are. Who's smart here? Is it me or the jackass on the screen talking? Think about it. You have to be licensed and bonded in the state you're in to be a private investigator. Why? Because to be a private investigator, to be bonded, you testify in court. So it's different than just some Joe Blow like Turdgorilla going up in court and saying, yep, I said this and you have to believe me because I said it. No, they have to be licensed, bonded, and insured. That way it gives credibility to their statements in court. Dr. John Hall learned it because they did counter surveillance and found out who the group was, who was running the group, and found out they were former FBI agent who hired his family. That's how you find out who they are. But Turdgorilla doesn't have the foresight to understand that everything that Dr. John Hall has said is being proven in a court of law.
First of all, that's not impossible. It's totally possible that this is legitimate information here. However,
here we go.
You start talking about satellite terrorism and shit,
which happens.
You're going too far. And you're
Why is it too far?
Directed energy weapons,
which are real.
So this is jumping to fantasy land right here. So see what I mean? You have to be careful about fuckers like this.
This is going to be a long one. Directed energy weapons. Directed energy weapons. Directed energy weapons. It's going too far. It's going too far. Directed energy weapons, that's going too far. Nope, they don't exist. Nope, that's going too far. That's going too far. Yep, going too far. Directed energy weapons are systems capable of discrete target selection that emit laser or radio frequency RF energy as the primary means to cause disruptive damage or destructive effects on equipment or facilities. Directed energy weapons. We're not going to go to Wikipedia because they lie. Listen here. Directed energy. Lockheed Martin. We have developed laser weapon systems, radio frequency, and other directed energy technology for air, ground, and sea platforms to provide an affordable... That's my fan rolling. Designed to capture electromagnetic energy and elevate its power to create innovative directed energy solutions. We've developed laser, weapon systems, radio frequency, and other directed energy technology for air, ground, and sea platforms to provide an affordable. Everybody says it costs so much money to target me. Affordable countermeasure alternative. We are addressing critical needs such as accuracy, mobility, size, weight, and power. SWAP, cooling, and minimal collateral damage. Collateral damage? What's collateral damage? That means they can target one singular person. Directed energy. That's just jumping the shark there. NASA seeks innovation to help develop first generation of directed energy weapons. Global directed energy weapons market analysis by recent developments. Lockheed's newest high energy weapons is multiple lasers in one. U.S. Navy developing directed energy systems to counter hypersonic missiles. It's just too much. That's just too much. Report to Congress on Defense Department directed energy. French Navy to acquire electromagnetic directed energy weapons. Directed energy weapons market worth $5.73 billion by 2028 at 21.5%. Global directed energy weapons thematic research report. Lockheed's newest high energy weapons, multiple lasers in one. Directed energy weapons, let's see. Used on the public. It's going too far. It's going too far. Experts say Russia's use of counter-space capabilities can make 2022 a directed energy weapons to counter Western on-orbit assets. Let's see here. Press Briefing Secretary on Iran on the brink. Let's see. All these directed energy weapons. Let me see here. Let me see this. Let me do something because it's just too much. Havana. Sndrome. CIA doc sent to investigate illness developed Havana syndrome. CIA's physician who traveled to Cuba, and of course CIA is going to deny it, of course. An immaculate concussion. The truth behind it. U.S. hid fears of radiation in Moscow Embassy in the 70s from staff, documents reveal. So in other words, the Russian government has used directed energy weapons in the 70s on staff in the buildings in Russia, the embassies. Neurocognitive warfare inflicting strategic impact. Back in 2016, U.S. persons posted the embassy of Havana reported a variety of platform-mounted mixture of RF-directed energy pulses. Or directed energy weapons behind the Havana syndrome. Moscow signals declassified microwave mysteries. Havana syndrome may be caused by directed energy. What? That's jumping the shark, isn't it? That's jumping the shark. That's just too far. Directed energy weapons shoot painful but non-lethal beams are similar to weapons behind Havana syndrome. Wow. That's just too far. Like this video. It's too long. I'm Stuart Pittell on The Most Targeted Citizen. Like, share, and subscribe. Let Turdgorilla know what you think. Because just watch the rest of his video and you'll see. I mean, I've debunked him in 4 minutes. That's the part. That he's got the ability to do all the research, but instead he wants you to trust him. He wants you to trust him as he slanders and libels an actual doctor. A man with an actual college degree, with college degrees. Oh, wait a second. Let me do this one more for Turdgorilla. Let me do this. Bill Benny. Let's do this. Bill Benny. National Security Agency whistleblower Bill Benny. Let me do this. Target. Oh, I didn't get it right. This is hard to do one-handed. And my right is not my dominant hand. Even though I kick your ass with both feet. But remember, Turdgorilla is not going to show you anything like this. I would disconnect everything. The safeguard and security really necessitate totally sacrificing our right to privacy and allow government watchdogs to happen. Wow, look at that. Am I going crazy? Or am I sharing the same article 10 times? They really want public to believe targeted individuals are delusional. I don't know. I've never even seen this. I'm just going on what's going on here. Am I going crazy or beanstalk inside the disturbing online world of gang stalking? Let me go back to Bill Benny. Bill Benny. Oh, I know. I'll do this in another video. It's coming up there. Stuart Pittell on The Most Targeted Citizen. Like, share, and subscribe. Let Turdgorilla know what I had to say. If anything, he's going to drive more to my website, to my page. Because I'm a charlatan, I'm a fraud, I'm a hoaxer. I'm just here to try to steal your money while I'm being non-monetized. God bless.